Right. Oh, that is recording. Hello. Welcome to sneezing time. Right. That should be better now. I just had a sneeze. We're at Orlando. You know what's happening. Everyone knows what's happening. We're about to fly to Daytona Beach, which is probably the windiest airport we can still land at with an Airbus. At the moment, just check the Meteo Blue weather data, and it's looking like Daytona Beach is going to be having maybe that's not too 60 to 70 kilometre an hour winds. So we went a little bit further up, maybe Palm Coast, we'd get 80 to 100. But as soon as we're a little bit inland, it's a bit less. So that's probably the best. Maybe Jacksonville Beach, but there's no airports there, I don't think. Anyway, let me check. There's Ferdinand Beach Municipal. Nassau Airport, Flying Ranch, that's too small. Stafford Airport's GA20, that's too small. There's Naval Air Station, Jacksonville Executive, Deep Forest. But no, it looks like Daytona's going to be the worst, so we'll go there. Doing all the things my flight instructor tells me never to do. Winds gusting 70, let's do it, let's go. So yeah, just turning on all of our screens, as we now have to do in the Fenix. That one's on, that one's on, that one's on. This one on, this one on. Integrated lights up, a little bit of floodlight. We'll do integrated here up. Nav lights on, seatbelt signs on. This is the emergency exit lighting on. We won't use any of that. Get rid of all the illuminated white lights. Test the APU fire extinguisher. It works fine. Captain, I'm going to turn off GS because it's always wrong. We do the ground control cover test, CVR test, there we go. Okay, and crew supply is on. Right. Enter, please. Right, Fenix, I will start on the left to right on this. It's an EFB flow. Import from SimBrief, so I've done a little flight. Let me guess, this one is. Let's turn some of these things on. Units, yeah, it needs to be in kilograms, hectopascals. Well, I do want 5 actually, that's a good one. An incremental flush handling linked. Okay, that's good. My flight is now imported, MCO to DAB. MCO, we've got 330 at 24, gusting 39, 4 miles visibility, light rain, fog, few 1700, broken 24, overcast 55, temperature 23, dew point 22, altimeter super low 2954, remark, AOT, PK, wind, mental, pressure, mental. And here we've got it. I'm excited for this. Daytona Beach, auto weather information 010, 43, gusting 62, 3/4 of a mile visibility, low light rain, scattered clouds at 100 feet, overcast 2,500, altimeter 2953, remark AO2, peak wind is 66 at 1412 so far today. So about an hour and a half ago we had the highest wind, which was 66 knots. Lovely. Right, so let's load up the flight plan. ATSU, AOC menu, flight init. I'm doing it really quickly, that's how I've got used to doing it with the Airbus, obviously not following the checklists completely, I'm just sort of doing a flow that I've made up. When I fly for real I have a checklist, don't worry. So flight level 100 today and a CI of 60, so I'm going to go to init page, 60 on the CI and flight level 100 for the cruise. Request all of the data, clear all of the warnings. Going to just turn the brightness up on the CDU here. We're Delta. What flight number are we today? 10 Whiskey Whiskey. For Windy Windy. Wind request. Return. IRS init align on ref and confirm. And we're just going to look for wind uplink. There we go. Wind is uplink dated. MCO departure. Right, I'm now going to disappear off into my Navigraph charts. I'm going to pre-file this on VATSIM pre-file. I'm wondering if they do actually give me a... Anywho, navigraph beta.charts.navigraph.com. So what I love about this, and you can't see it, you're not allowed, okay? I'm not allowed to tell you, but it's going to be good. That's all I'll say. So I've opened up the charts now, still loading, taking a little moment. New Fenix build as well, they just released it about 10 minutes ago, so I'm doing this as a recording because my streams never seem to actually get any views, and then they never seem to pick up the views after the stream because the videos seem to take too long to be produced. So basically that's the gist of it. Yeah, so hopefully a short flight with a long intro. Log in, yes, I'd like to log in, please. If you do so kind as to let me log in, that would be grand. What's up with the internet now? Of all the times. Alright, Kaiser 295 knots, flight level 90 guano. .com 122.8. .com 122.8. Log in. Come on, Navigraph. There we go. Sign in. Okay, that's got me my beta open. Flight unload. Import flight from SimBrief. Bam. Import and open. KMCO, let's have a look at the runways and the winds. So looks like 35 right is going to be good at 39 knots headwind. So we'll look which is closer to us. That's going to be 35 left, looking at our parking position. You can zoom in on the map and it shows you a full taxi map. It's fantastic. So we'll take 35 left, 39 knot headwind. Departure will be... where are we trying to go to? Kaiser. So how are we going to get to Kaiser? Oh, actually, the departures are too long, so Citri 1 will be Citri 1 direct Kaiser, and then Daytona Beach. 7 left is 25 knots headwind, 35 knots crosswind, so we're not going to take that. 3-4, 25 knots crosswind with a 35 knot headwind component. Okay, it's 1,829 meters long, 35 knots headwind. Should be okay. One arrival. We'll be taking 4-3, I suppose. No, we won't be taking 4-3. We'll be taking direct vectors to final. Runway 34 is RNAV only, so that's fine with me. I love RNAV. Let's overlay the chart there. So we're looking at a minimums of 380 feet and a minimum altitude at EOR 1600 feet. It's a channeled RNAV approach, so it's got a little bit of extra data. A 3-4 is that north facing one. We don't want runway 07. So actually we can go directly Coyote to RNAV 34 via Oki. Yeah. Okay, so we'll set that up now. So it was runway 35 left in Orlando via Citra 1. Insert. Right, and then we're going to go actually a bit differently. We're going to go arrival RNAV 34. We're going to go via Oki. Insert, and I'm actually going to delete these 2 waypoints here because they take us miles off. They actually take us to runway 07, which is having a little bit too much of the old tailwind. So it's a 3-degree glide path, and the wind is coming from the right-hand side off the coast, obviously. So let's get to... I'm going to do boarding instantly because I can't be bothered to wait 9 minutes for that. IRSs are already aligned. Lovely. Let's do the nice thing. I love this little bump. This is not a tutorial, so if you are intending on using this as a tutorial, just be aware you're going to have to pause a lot, because I'm just running through everything. Right, over to this, no, not this page, we want the Fenix page here, this one. We're going to go into mass and balance, ground services actually, yeah, that's fine, we don't need to be too realistic. Mass and balance, ooh, interesting. Do we not have any passengers planned? Re-import. Yeah, if we re-import, that should then sort itself out. Yeah, because it's now in kilograms. Good, so we'll do instant loading there. Boarding complete. Go over to the departure here. Actually, before I do that, back here. In mass and balance, we need these two, 54.2 and 31.4. That's going to go into init, right click, 54.2. Boom. It was 31.4. Yeah, I got that one right. Click, fuel planning, wait for it to go blue. .8 tons on board, 1,800 kilograms even. Okay, so that's fine. Now we go to the init page and we're going to do our takeoff performance. So it's runway 35 left, wet, sync load sheet, sync weather, calculate. And worst case, we're coming back to Orlando. I don't think that's much better though. We've got about 20 knots less wind, so maybe it's more survivable. 119, 135, 135, so 119, 135, 135. Okay, flex temperature 68, 1 down 04. 68, 1 slash DN.4. Boom. Great. That's us set up. Now we need to put an altitude in the window. All other boxes are dashed and dotted. That means we have the perfect setup. I'm going to put myself into my landing camera. It's just a few little, so that's the default camera now. I go about there. I love that. It's much better. We're going to hit 2.2953. That's oh, it's only 1,000 hectopascals. It's not too low. Beacon on, master switch on, AV bleeders already on. We're going to wait a couple of seconds and then start the APU. While that's starting, let's get the tug connected. Ground services on the EFB, connect to tug, turn off the chocks and codes. We need the GPU for the moment. And of course, everyone's here, including a Lufthansa Airbus A330, a JetBlue A320, little old me. Yeah, bit windy I suppose. Have the trees started moving yet? I hope so. Anywho, nobody online. Flight plan is going to be actually direct O key. File, close. Flaps open, we've got the exhaust gas temperature now dropping back down, and then one on the APU is now increasing. Once that's 100, it's now available. Fantastic, off with the external power, and let's start pushing back. For that, parking brake released, engine 2 ignition, start pushback, engine 2 on, and I'm going to put my squawk to 1000 and out. Orlando traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey, pushing back for taxi, 35 left. Okay, 25%, and we've got fuel flow going, EGT rising, N1 rising, N2 rising, PSI building. There's the PSI. And temperature, this is oil, I believe. Yeah, oil pressure, oil temperature. So we've got oil pressure and a good temperature. There's a turbine, so it's always alright. So you can hear the wind going. I'm going to put the wipers onto low setting. Or tail left. So we're going to get this little exit here, and then I'm going to go around and down to the right. 35 left is over there. Charts wise, I am using Navigraph, but obviously they haven't yet made it an in-game panel.
JetBlue 698 taking off, runway 365, Orlando transfer. Orlando traffic, Coast Guard, rescue 35 to helicopter 1,500 bandits. Make the bravo from the southeast to the northeast. Direct Okie.
Oh, we need this one here, don't we? Stop, stop, stop turning. There we go, stop. Q. Right, that's now disconnected. Parking brake on, performance page on left and right MCDU is going to show our flight plan. Right, we've got both engines now available. Max, this Mach 2 norm, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the trim there. Flight controls. Need to check full right, centre, full left, centre, full up, centre, full down, centre, rudder, full right, centre, full left, centre. Okay, flight controls are normal. Predictive wind shear. It's not going to predict anything, but we'll put it on. And what's that flap setting? Flaps 1 takeoff, so set flaps 1. Spoilers aren't. Auto brake max, and we'll do TO config in a second. Charts wise, yes, because we do need that. Orlando, ground charts, airport info, departure Citrus 1, and we go back here, Daytona Beach, approach, on our GPS 34. So 07 is significantly longer. Let's have a look at the ground charts, airport info. Yeah, so 34 is long enough. Let me have a look. 1829 metres, the other one is 3200 metres, so we'll be able to make 34, no problem. Okay, parking brake release, engines to about 30%. Hopefully that'll get us rolling. Yep, 35% on one. APU off. Taxi lights and runway turn-off lights on, strobes to auto, landing lights to off. Orlando traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey taxi, 35 left. Okay, let's test that. Okay, TO config is normal. And, let's run through all of these. Status, normal. Recall, normal. Engine, normal. Yeah, everything is normal, no red. Doors are all closed, flight controls are okay, and wheels are okay too. Just a case of getting there now. Little ways to go, but we're doing a relatively high speed taxi around 30 knots. Basically just trying to keep the airspeed indicator not active, and that's fairly safe. Departure. Yeah, obviously the best idea to test the new build of Fenix in the most mad weather, because that's realistic testing conditions, of course. Company message, let's do that on the right side. Atsu AOC Receipts. Load sheet, yeah, it's fine. Accept return. There'll be another one of those in a few minutes, probably once we're airborne because I do this too quickly. Back up to 25%. Is fine too. Right, so it should be departure directly to 1500 feet AGL, and then a right turn to Oki, which is already our initial fix for the RNAV. We'll climb up to about 8,000, 9,000 feet just to give a bit of an efficiency in the cruise, and then begin the RNAV approach and descent. So probably worth popping in the arrival data already. So we'll do that at the hold. Multitasking.com, my flight. Meta arrival. Damn, there we go. Left. Okay, low visibility anyway. Right, 010 36 gusting 52, so I'm going to do 010 slash 36 gusting 52, let's do 42. In there, roughly. Temperature is... I don't know what the temperature is. Hello, give me temperature. There's no temperature map reported. Peak wind is that, slip. RVR, no. Runway, runway visibility range, no. Okay, okay. Yeah, 2953. Obviously the airport is actually closed. Nobody's flying there in real life, this is just a game. Temperature, we'll just assume it's about the same as it is here, so let's say 22 degrees, 23 degrees. And barometric minimums, we're going to set those at 150 feet. If I don't see the runway by 150 feet AGL... what minimums? No minimums. Shh. Right, ready to go, I'd say. Performance and flight plan pages open. Running light on, strobe light on, taxi lights to take off. Enter runway, packs off. Right side check, nothing on final, no reported traffic, nobody on TCAS. Left side's clear. Enter the runway now. Flap set, speed brake sounds, takeoff configs normal. We're going to take as full length as possible. Is there a windsock available to look at? There's the windsock. Yes, it's fully standing up on its edges. That means each of those bands is 5 knots-ish, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 knots or more. Grand. So we're going to set the brakes now, spool up to 50% N1. Wait for it to spool up. Roll out the traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey taken off runway 35, left direct OK. Hey, spool up's okay, engine looks normal, release brakes and flex. That's flex, SRS runway, climb nav, armed, SP to live, engine's normal. Knots. V1. Go. Rotate. Unlocking brakes and gear up. Okay, very normal takeoff actually, 31 knots in the air. The gust model doing its thing, nice and stable. Autopilot now. See how that copes with everything that we're throwing at it. Intermediate marker. Okay, 1580 feet level climb. Safety altitude reached.
Orlando traffic, Lufthansa 465 Heavy, departing runway 35 left, headed for departure.
Direct OK.
Via transition, time flight number still here.
Yeah, we'll do 10,000 feet, just as that does get us a nice kind of parabolic curve. Orlando traffic and Daytona Beach traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey, inbound Oki, 30 miles. Not quite above our slat speed yet, so just going to hold the flaps for now. Once we reach S, we'll lift the flaps away. Ground spoilers no longer need to be armed, seatbelts aren't staying on for the whole flight for understandable reasons, I hope. Alright, there's slat speed flaps 0, and acceleration should hopefully now occur too. Pack 1, 2 needs to be going back on, so we'll do that now. Pack 1, Pack 2, and we'll turn off the wipes as we go above 200 knots. Okay, do not expect to see anything for the rest of the flight, to be honest. I don't even expect to see the runway at the other end. We'll do an auto land on our approach, it's fine, nobody minds. Bernie, don't watch this. There's the GPS. So, this is what we're looking for, 1700 Kessler. We're going to be coming inbound from Oki, 1600 Eeyore. And then descending, it's 4.8 miles from there to there, so it's a relatively short approach. So actually we'll try and come in a bit more from Oki. We'll plan our approach from there already, kind of being fully stabilised by Kessler, with gear down and flaps down, because it's 10.8 miles. 3 degree glide path, 400 foot minimums with LNAV and 380 foot minimums with the highest level of everything. Final approach course is 342, so we'll look for that on the heading bug as we come into land. Minimum safe 2,800 in all directions. Ground charts then, and we'll look at the taxi and so on. So the terminal is on the left hand side, so we'll try and vacate left probably on Whiskey 3 or potentially this November taxiway here. Okay, we reached 8,000 feet already, and we're going to be descending very shortly too. I'm going to put terrain on ND just so I've got some kind of picture of where I am. We're not going to quite get above the clouds, I don't think. It's a relatively short flight today. I'm going to turn off the landing lights now, and the strobe's going to stay on. Seatbelt signs, yeah, I don't know what to do about those really. Oh, it looks like we're just about broken through the clouds. There you go. There's your view of much. So flight level 100. Now looking at constraints. There we go, 1700, 1600. So.
And Orlando traffic, Lufthansa 465 Heavy, cleared of 35 left. Passing through 4,000.
There you go. Just start my descent now already. Well, look at that. Look at that weather.
Daytona Beach traffic, Coast Guard Rescue 35 to Lakota 1,500, direct Oki for the RNF and way 34 to Daytona Beach.
I need to get his position again, actually, that would have been helpful. Actually, I'm going to do performance, activate approach phase, confirm, bit of speed brake, entering clouds, landing lights on again. Okay, we'll do nav and logo to system 2. Got a CB over there. So this is all just a big wind cluster heck. 60s, 30 knots at the moment in the sky. Not too bad. Coming down to our green dot speed, speed brakes can go away as we're decelerating quite nicely. Seatbelt signs and no smoking on, ground spoilers on, auto brake to medium. Runway condition expected to be very wet and nasty. We'll be using full reverse thrust, manual landing and auto brake medium. That gives us the best chance. To be honest, even if we did the calculations, we may well get that we don't have enough landing distance available, so we will do it like that instead. Daytona Beach traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey, 11 miles southwest Oki, inbound Oki RNAV 34. There's a few people obviously flying around because it's a storm, and that's fun, you know, all about that excitement. So we just escaped the clouds, just about. So this is kind of what we're seeing. This is actually the way out to Kennedy Space Center over here. If I was to turn off the weather, I think that's what we would see. Let me just check what Volanta's showing. Where am I? Yes, so that goes out towards Titusville, and then Titusville takes you to Kennedy Space Center. Daytona Beach is a little bit worse than Orlando was on departure, so we'll see what the weather's like when we come down at the moment. I don't know if this is very hurricaney, but it's very spectacular in any case. There's a lot of weather, double rainbow, for example. In a nice descent now, 500 feet per minute, we're going to hold that. Let's check our approach data. It was 2953. Yeah, so ER is going to be at exactly 1728, and then we're going to have the -3 degree path there. So it's planning us basically to do a reasonable arrival. But from Oki we will start acting like we're landing shortly.
Daytona Beach traffic, Coast Guard Rescue 35, to the Seminole Ranch Conservation Area, direct to Oki for the RNAV, runway 34, Daytona Beach.
If he would only do something like say position, that would be grand, because at the moment it looks like he's on a collision course for me. If that's him. Coast Guard we're looking for, so let me go on to VATSIM map. Map.vatsim.net. Yeah, Florida's full. Got Delta and CGR 35. Okay, he's behind us at 935 feet. Going 94 knots, so we're considerably faster ahead of him. Actually going to descend open to 1700 because I can't be bothered with this weird descending nonsense. Something like that, yeah. Okay, Oki. Flaps 1. Daytona Beach traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey, position Oki, RNAV 34. And I haven't said an altitude, I should say an altitude. I shall say an altitude by Kessler. So we're descending nicely now into the murk, so let's put our windscreen wipers on once again, probably. Let's go back to start here and RNAV GPS 34. Approach, and we've got alt final and app nav armed. There's our 180 knots. We're about 30 miles to the runway. No, that's 30 miles to final. We're 15 and 18 miles or so. 18 miles to go. So 5600 is approximately correct. We don't want to come in too high. And you can see we've got the downwards blue arrow here, and then the sink levelling off arrow here. So we're going to be levelling off short before EOR, and then at EOR we're going to continue our final descent, and that will be our stabilisation point. We'll make sure we're fully settled before we do that. I will be looking at what happens when we do flaps 2. That will be interesting to see. So flaps 3 I mean, because flaps 2 hasn't been a problem. I'm going to set speed 170 flaps 2 now. We've got 30 knots from the right. I was forecasting a bit more. Okay, what's going on with my internet? Nothing good, it will see. Connect. Thank you. Okay, once more to the breach, dear friends. Gear down. Give me some of those spoiler reactions. Refresh the METAR. 01041 gusting 56. Put 45 in there. Yeah, we're going to use a much lower minimums than is actually prescribed for the area. Gears down, 3 greens. Daytona Beach traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey, Kessler 3000 feet on now 34. Inbound to Yor now. Gonna slightly reduce my descent rate, got ground speed of 158. There you go, there's some new clouds for you. Windscreen wipers to high. Windscreen wipers to apocalyptic setting. 2,500 feet, gears down, let's put flaps free. There comes flaps free, and there's the nose down. So the nose down is still a problem, but it's less pronounced than it was before, potentially. It used to be going to about 8 degrees, no, 5 degrees nose down pitch, now it's not doing that anymore. Okay, and let's get fully stabilised, flaps full. Okay, we're configured for landing. As you can see, we've got about 15-20 degrees of right crab, so it's going to be a crosswind landing. Landing it down, signs on, cam ready, spoilers on, then flaps are full according to the aircraft now. Yes, now we're just looking at how the aircraft is going to manage this. This is going to be very interesting to see. Daytona Beach traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey, 2.5 miles from Yor, or no, 3-4, fully established. We're not yet fully established, we're not established on final approach path, but basically, because that's going to happen in a few seconds, there's that 41 knots from the right hand side now. That should be shifting slightly more, so it should be coming from 010 degrees, so 30 degrees of shift, which is actually PPL theory really. You can have a 30 degree shift in the wind below 1,000 feet AGL due to the friction of the surface. Daytona Beach, what have we got? 01036 gusting 52, 1/2 mile visibility, heavy rain, view of 800, view of 1200, overcast 1800, 2953 set. Okay, we've got the altimeter correct.
Daytona Beach traffic, Coast Guard Rescue 35 over Oki, RNF 34, Daytona Beach.
I am visual with nothing. Here comes the path. Approach is on, so we should now, there we go, start descending please. There's our descent. Kind of in and out of clouds for the moment, I'm expecting it to be absolutely horrific by the time we actually get there. Okay, can we do an auto land on our approach? Let's have a look. So I'm expecting we'll have to be looking about here to see the runway, because if we're straight ahead's there, we're going actually 30 degrees crab, so somewhere over here I'd imagine. Actually, there is no rain at the moment, but hopefully that changes once we descend below 1,200. Okay, 1,000 feet, we're stabilised. Much more I cannot say. There's our 45 knots, gusting 50. See, the aircraft is struggling a bit. We've got a GS mini speed of 140 knots. Still no viz. Okay, I can see the ground. That's something. Let's go to control 0 AAA. Hello autopilot, you're going hard. Right, let's see. Can we see anything? Not quite, too high. Take over manual flying, I can see the airport terrain ahead. Okay, flashing lights, runways in sight.
200.
Tank rate.
100. Minimum. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Hard as it needed to be. I wouldn't want to flare that nicely. Okay, we need to taxi off. We'll go left on November as planned. That was hectic. Very unrealistic. But yes, hard landing. No way around that really. No bounce. Thank you, Phoenix. Daytona Beach traffic, Delta 10 Whiskey Whiskey, freefall vacated. Right, ABU start up. Let's check. Is there any point of looking at the landing rate? Yeah, 700 feet per minute, 649 it was. So firm enough to break the water, shall we say. I don't think anyone can be expecting to do a smooth landing with a realistic airplane in these conditions. And nor should you, to be honest. You would not make that a smooth landing, you would make that a get my damn plane on the ground in some state. I don't care if it's half broken. Just land it. As long as it's on the ground at the end and I'm alive, it's okay. Yeah, so arguably fighting the minimums there. Supposed to see the runway about 150 feet higher, but yeah, you know, also we are flying in Hurricane Ian, it's not exactly going to be realistic. We could theoretically fly back to hub or something like that. The departure's no problem, it's just the arrival. Oh my god, yellowcar.com. Right, let's have a look which one of you is the marshaller. Presumably laddie at the end there. He is swallowing his microphone.
RNF 34, Daytona Beach.
Brake set, engines off, deboard, come on, let's do it. Hello, power's actually off now. I also cut the engine, so I don't know what you're planning on doing with our power. Here we go. Crazy crosswind, hardcore landing, no visibility. Wasn't particularly nice, was it? And the gust model is brutal. It's so brutal. But where did we land? Let's have a look at the landing. Position shortly before the touchdown block, the aiming point, and we vacated at 07 left November, and then taxied into the terminal. So there we go. Daytona Beach.